I'm sure you're all familiar with what happened in 2019 between PewDiePie and T-Series, in which YouTube finally showed that a corporation would prevail over an individual content creator. It was the beginning of a downward spiral, so to speak. I mean, sure, the platform wasn't at its greatest before that, but it was a very clear decline after this incident. There's been a lot going on with YouTube, and it's gone pretty bad over the past couple months here. I just want to bring attention to, at least in my eyes, some very big issues that are basically preventing small creators from growing on the platform and also bringing an end to creators who once were pulling in millions of views. Now, the first issue is one that's been around pretty much since day one of YouTube, and it's that only a small percentage of subscribers actually watch your videos. This is true for everyone. I mean, looking at my channel, I have 1.15 thousand subscribers, but my videos only get, I don't know, I'd be lucky to break 100, if I'm being honest with you. And it's not just me. I feel like every creator is experiencing this. I mean, take a look at PewDiePie. He's more than 100 million subscribers, but his videos are only getting about 3 to 4% of his total subscriber population on them. And if we go back, let's just go back maybe like 2 years ago and see how it is. Okay, so at 1 year ago, he was getting a bit more. There was like 6 to 7% on that, or maybe even more because his subscribers have gone up in that time. So he was pulling a lot more views maybe a year or two ago. But again, this is a problem that's been around for quite some time. It wasn't just recently. This has always been a thing on YouTube where no matter how many subscribers you have, you're only going to get like maybe 5% of them to watch your videos. I think that just circles back to the YouTube notifications issue. And it's that people don't get notified of your videos unless they click through a bunch of settings, and that's super annoying. Like, I don't know why it's not when you subscribe to someone, there should be a dialog box that is like, would you like to turn on notifications for this channel? But instead, there's not, and then people just don't know that that option exists, and they never get to see this content again. And that's going to bring me into the next issue with YouTube that has only now become apparent. Captain Sparkles. You know, he was the guy that made the creeper. Aw, man. I mean, look at how insane his views were. 275 million views. But that was 10 years ago, before YouTube went downhill. Look at this. So even a year ago, he was still pulling in considerable views. And now you fast forward to here, and most of them are barely hitting above 200K. And that's not because Captain Sparkles has changed up his content or because it's gotten boring or anything. It's because he's not reaching the algorithm. As he stated himself, he is not reaching the algorithm.
I've decided that I'm done trying to play to the YouTube algorithm. Admittedly, if you're just starting off making content today, you almost have to if you want people to discover and watch what you're doing. But that wasn't always the case.
In this video, Captain Sparkles goes on to talk about his personal experience with the algorithm and how, as of yet, it has been failing him, and there's no way to get back into it. And that's really the second big issue, is the algorithm. These creators who found lots of success with the algorithm in the past and grew a dedicated fan base are now no longer seeing any channel growth because the algorithm has so drastically changed. It's unpredictable. It's just impossible to play the algorithm. There's no way to play that game anymore. They've changed the algorithm completely, and I have no idea how you're supposed to get through it now. And he's gone back to what he loves doing, what made him popular in the first place, but it's just not working nowadays because it's not getting into the algorithm. He's not getting those views. And as you can see, it's just the same as with PewDiePie. It's back down to like maybe 2-3% of his total subscriber base. Now I want to bring your attention to another channel called Life of Boars. I used to watch this guy all the time. I mean, he was pulling in millions of views. Let's see if we can find one that was, there's 2 years ago. Yeah, there's some from 2 years ago that have a couple million views on them. Just a year ago, he was pulling in millions of views. See, we got a couple millions right here and here. But now he's barely breaching 500,000 views here.
Hello, this is Boris. Since YouTube has pretty much stopped sending my new videos to viewers and videos are no longer reaching the wide audiences that they possibly could, or have done before at least, there is no point to adding any effort into the videos at all. So I will not! I will no longer be trying to guess what people want to see.
Again, he's talking about the algorithm. When he says that YouTube is no longer sending his videos to new viewers, that's the algorithm's fault. And just like Captain Sparkles, he's given up on trying to guess how to game that system. And this is actually kind of a sad one because Boris ended up quitting. He ended up just giving up on the channel entirely. There's been no new videos. But on the bright side, Boris has made a new channel in hopes of starting something else that wouldn't be bogged down by the algorithm. And he's got some mild success on it. But it's not just frustrating for the big guys. It's also frustrating for small creators as well. I mean, I've been doing YouTube for like 5-6 years now, and I haven't had much success. It used to be where sometimes I'd get into the algorithm, and I get some nice views. Take for instance this video. This is my biggest video that I posted, almost a year ago. And as you can see, it hit the recommended tab. It hit the recommended tab. Like it hit the home page. It hit the algorithm. And if you look at this, let's see, all the way from 0 to the first 11 days, it stayed there. At least that's what I'm assuming because of the exponential growth. It stayed and recommended. It stayed good in the algorithm. That was a year ago, almost. And now look at this one. It also got in the algorithm. Browse features, right there. It hit the home page. Well, if it hit the algorithm and hit the home page, what happened to the views? There should be so many more views on that, right? Well, look at this. Let's see, first day 5 hours to first day 10 hours. 5 hours. That's how long it stayed in the recommended tab. 5 hours of exponential growth, and then YouTube, for some reason, decided to just cut it out. I don't really understand that. It seems that even if you get into the algorithm, it doesn't even matter because you're just going to get kicked right out of it in a couple hours anyways. And this was just a couple days ago. But you can see, as with most videos that hit the algorithm now, there's just this S curve with a huge plateau at the end because you got kicked out of the algorithm really fast. At least with the other video, as you can see, there was a much longer time that it was in the algorithm. But that was almost a year ago, so that's probably because the algorithm's changed a lot since then. And when you can't get into the algorithm, there's one other hope, I guess. It's a false hope, but there's the trending tab, right? The trending tab, yeah, let's go look at that. Here we are, the trending tab. Trending videos, let's see. This is another issue with YouTube. It's the trending tab. Number one, it's hidden. No one really looks at it anyways, because you got to go to explore and find it. It's not on the homepage or anything. So already it's worse than the algorithm. But then look at how many of these are not individual creators. There we go. YouTube Pokemon. It's the Pokemon YouTube channel. Drake. Official artist backed by a company. Dead by Daylight, also a company. There's the Pokemon channel again. The Tonight Show, that is a company. Clash of Clans. A band. Another band. And a company. There's a lot of companies and bands in here, people who are backed by corporations and lots of money that are ending up getting into the trending tab. And it doesn't make any sense to me because when you think about trending, what does trending mean to me? Trending means that it's a video that's growing a lot, it's getting a lot of views, but those views are from new people. That's what trending should be. It should be a video that's drawing in new people, getting people interested in it. But if you look at most of these, I don't know, let's look at Drake. Let's look at Drake, sure. That one was 3 million views, right? 3.1 million views. Look at how many subscribers he has. That's way more than the views he got on there. Does that really seem like a trending video? If it's just his subscribers returning to watch it? At least that's what I'm going to assume, because that's maybe like 10% of the viewers. So yeah, it's about where PewDiePie's were in terms of returning subscribers. So what, he just got double the returning subscribers, and apparently that is trending now. And that's the issue with the trending tab, is that sure, it looks at how many views it's getting in the first couple hours and it takes that into the account, but what it doesn't take into account is the channel subscribers. And that it's probably the people who are watching this are probably the subscribers just coming back and watching it again. It's not new people, it's not getting out there, and it's not really trending, now is it? If it's trending, it should be from new people, it should be reaching new audiences. It's almost like viral, it should be viral if it's going to be trending. But it's not when it's just your subscribers coming back again and watching it, which is like 10% of your viewer base or whatever. So in essence, what you have is a bunch of big channels with millions upon millions of subscribers, and you just have that normal, maybe like 5% of their viewers coming back to watch their video in the first couple hours or so, and YouTube views that as trending. Meanwhile, there are smaller creators that are getting thousands of views in the first couple hours, maybe tens of thousands, maybe it's not a million, but they're certainly reaching way more than the subscriber count. And that should be trending. That should be something that's trending, right? I mean, it's growing fast, and it's new people. It's people who aren't subscribed to them. And I think that's something YouTube just doesn't take into account when it looks at the trending tab. It doesn't care how many of those people are just returning subscribers, just watching the new video. It treats that as trending for some reason. So if you're a small creator and you get some nice views in the first couple hours through the algorithm, you're just going to get kicked out of the algorithm and you're going to plateau off. And there's no chance of getting into trending, because even though you got way more views than you have subscribers in the first couple hours, that should be considered trending, it's not, because there's all of these bigger channels that are getting more views than you just from them being their returning subscribers. It's just another blow to the face for small creators. And probably finally the most damning issue of them all is the broken demonetization and copyright systems on YouTube. YouTube support doesn't do a damn thing. It's just some automated bot that tells you everything's going to be alright, and then your channel gets terminated, basically. Because the way YouTube works, when someone sends a demonetization or a copyright claim on you, or even a copyright strike to take your video down, you can counterclaim them, sure, yeah. But then that counterclaim just goes right back to the person who sent that. There's no third party fair view, there's no jury, there's no online etiquette or anything. It just goes back to the person who sent that claim. And what do you think they're going to do? They're just going to read your little letter and be like, "Oh my gosh, I was wrong. I'm sorry for copyright striking your video, even though I did it on purpose." And it's even worse because most of these are actually just fakers. They're not the actual copyright holders. Yeah, so there was this whole controversy between the Act Man and Quantum TV, which Quantum TV ended up doing a bunch of fake copyright strikes on him, and that got the Act Man in trouble with YouTube. And the only way that he could get those rectified, because he couldn't do a counterclaim, he couldn't do that because Quantum TV would just come right back and be like, "No, I hate you. I want your channel to go under." So he had to go on Twitter, he had to go beg for his channel back. And that's what happens with most YouTubers. If they get hacked, if they get copyright strike, terminated, demonetized, they can't counterclaim, they can't have a legal fight because it's way too expensive. Especially for smaller creators, that's basically impossible. For smaller creators, they can't do that. They don't have the money for legal fees and hiring a lawyer, and they certainly don't have the popularity and reach to be able to talk to YouTube themselves to get the order, to get it settled. The most dangerous issue out of them all. It's one that could potentially get many small channels terminated, and YouTube's not going to do a damn thing. Over the past few months, we've just seen this all rise. There's been so many issues, so many things coming up that just make it a really hard place to grow in. YouTube has become basically impossible to grow as a small creator, because you got the small viewer retention. There's only that 2-3% for most people, not even, of those subscribers who come back and watch their videos. There's the whole issue with the algorithm, which is completely unpredictable, and even if you get in, you get kicked out in a couple hours anyways, and your views plateau. And then there's the whole issue with the trending tab as well, which isn't really trending, it's just a bunch of big channels and corporations that have returning subscribers en masse. And then you have this, which is that small creators can't reach out, they can't fight the legal fees. So if they get copyright strike or copyright claimed or demonetized, they just have to deal with it. And there's nothing they can do. YouTube has become a very hostile landscape for most creators now. And I really hope that TikTok will provide some sort of kick in the head to YouTube to wake up and start fixing this stuff. Or else people are just going to leave and go there instead. Because, yeah, that was just let out some disappointment. Some disappointment and anger towards this platform.